Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Love and Lore podcast, the podcast where we spread love through sharing our stories and life lore. First of all, did we like that intro music, guys? I've never done intro music before, but you know what? Since today is a very special day and it's a bonus episode, might as well try something new. But yeah, speaking of today being a very special day, it is Halloween, guys. So happy Halloween, everybody. If you're doing something tonight, you're trick or treating, going to a party, I hope you have the bestest time in the whole world. I know you look really good in your costume, so go crazy. If you're trick or treating, stay safe. If you're doing anything tonight, just stay safe and look out for each other. So, yeah, those are my wishes for you guys. As for me, I am not doing anything tonight. I'm probably just going to be studying or being in bed. So, yeah, I don't know. I've never really celebrated Halloween that much. Like, it's not my favorite holiday. So yeah, I am not doing much. Like, you'll rarely see me out of the house on Halloween. But yeah, if you're also not celebrating or if you're not doing anything tonight, then you know what? I love that for you. I know a few of us also have midterms today, which is actually really, really crazy. But yeah, I hope all is well. But yeah, anyways, like I said, I don't really enjoy Halloween that much. Like, it's not my favorite holiday, but something you might not know about me is that I love horror. I have always loved horror growing up. Anything paranormal, spooky, urban legends, true crime, even like psychological horror stuff. I love reading scary things. I love watching scary things. Growing up, Ghost Adventures was a big comfort show of mine. Also, this game called Haunt the House. I don't know if any of y'all heard of this before, but that was also a game I really loved. Even like Halloween specials for certain childhood shows, I always loved those as well. And if you know me personally, you would know that I don't like movies. I don't like watching movies. I can never sit through a movie. But the only movies that I will sit through and enjoy and be engaged by are horror movies. I eat those up. I love them so much. Anything like that, anything afterlife, like all things scary, and it's just I don't know why. I just love stuff like that. But to be honest, despite my love for this kind of stuff, I've always been kind of hesitant to talk about it and expressing my opinions on this kind of stuff out loud because knowing what I know about this whole field of life, you have to be really careful when you talk about this stuff because you're basically opening a door. You're basically opening a door to whatever's out there, and I have never wanted that. I'm scared of doing that, and I don't know, it's just a weird balance because I love it so much, but there's also that side of it. So yeah, I've always kind of suppressed this interest of mine, and by doing this episode, I really hope to kind of get over that fear and express this side of me that I never really got to express growing up. So yeah. Yeah, with that being said, with the things I talk about today and just overall this holiday in general, because I know not everyone celebrates it, I'm going into this episode with an open mind, an open heart, and with the purest of intentions and just with so much love and light. Okay, I know we're talking about scary stuff, but I am going into this with love, okay, and the purest of intentions. And I respect anyone's opinions, beliefs, and anything like that, okay? But yeah, welcome to the spooky side of Sophie. I'll be talking about some spooky experiences from my life. And also, just to end things off on a lighter note, I'll be answering some fun Halloween questions, doing some fun Halloween hot takes, all that stuff, just to end things on a more positive and brighter note. But yeah, without further ado, let's dive into my spooky experiences and some Halloween lore. All right, so we are going to be going through these stories by age. So this was my first ever experience with anything unexplainable, okay? So, oh my god, I'm kind of nervous, guys. I'm kind of nervous. I've never talked about this ever. Okay, so this experience happened in the Philippines. I was around 4 or 5 years old, and it was at nighttime, and it was with my mom and my brother. We were in bed. I was lying down in the bed with my mom and my brother. We were just talking, like we always did. We would always just talk before we sleep. My dad was working, I think. He had like a place near his work where he stayed. I think that's where he was. He just wasn't at home, or maybe he was on his way home. I don't know. It was just the three of us, and we were in bed, and I was situated. Okay, first of all, our bed is like those metal bed frame kind of things. So that's just for some context. But I was lying down closest to the wall. Okay, so yeah, my brother and my mom were talking. I was just kind of silent, just happy to be there. And I was like, oh my God, let's stick my hand under the bed. There was like a gap and my arm could fit through the gap between the bed frame and the wall, if that makes sense. So I took my hand and I shimmied it. My hand is now under the bed. And I'm just kind of feeling around. And then all of a sudden, guys, this thing like touched my hand. And this thing is okay, let me describe it. It felt like a body part. It felt like a body part. It felt like literal skin, but it also felt really like rubbery, but I don't know. It was the weirdest feeling. I jolted my arm out of the bed and I was like, what the heck just happened? And for the rest of the night, I couldn't stop thinking about that. And I wasn't talking for the rest of the night either. I never told anyone. But you know what? Thinking rationally now, it could have just been a toy from under the bed, like some rubber toy, or it could have been my imagination. But I don't know. The fact that it felt so human-like and skin-like, and it felt like an actual body part, like a finger almost. Ugh, like oh my gosh, it gave me chills. So yeah, that was my first ever unexplainable experience. So this next story happened also in the Philippines, and I was also a kid. I think I was a bit older though. I think I was around 5 or 6 now. It was in my neighbor's house. So okay, we had these neighbors, and honestly I'd had no idea who they were. We were just there, and I remember this so vividly. I remember exactly how the layout of the living room looked like, but we were all sitting as a family. And mind you, again, I don't know any of these people. I didn't know who lived here. I just knew I was sitting in a room full of people that I thought were relatives or just neighbors. I was watching these two kids. I think they were siblings, a boy and a girl. They were hopping around the living room. They were jumping over some cables because there was like an electric fan. I think they were just jumping over the cable for that, and they were going in circles and circles. And I was sitting on my mom's lap, I think, or I was just sitting alone. I don't know, but the way I was facing, there was like a staircase that was going downstairs, and I was just looking in that general direction because that's where the kids were. I was like watching the kids, and you can see the staircase through that. But all of a sudden, guys, there was this woman thing that peered her head through the staircase. And just something about her face was just, it was giving not human. She peered for like 5 seconds and then she was kind of smiling too. And then she went away. Her skin looked white and she had black hair. I think it was long black hair. And yeah, white, pale face, long black hair, kind of skinny, and her eyes were kind of big. Oh my god, this is giving me chills, guys. But yeah, she like kind of peeked a bit, and in my head I was like, this might just be some other lady living in the house because I don't know who lives here, but the family seemed kind of big. But also, like, why would there be someone just peering there, and why does she look not really like a human? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really that scared though. Again, I just thought it was some other girl living in the house. But looking back now, it would be kind of odd. And again, she did not look like a human. And we never went back to that house ever again. And I never told anyone either. But yeah, I guess to my family, if you're listening to this, then this happened. So yeah, kind of creepy. But again, rational explanation, it could have just been someone else living in the house. But again, why was she not a human? But yeah, take that as you will. That was that for that experience. Taking a break from all the scary paranormal-ish stuff, I will talk about an experience that happened to me that wasn't paranormal, but something that kind of traumatized me, okay? So this was a story that happened when I was, again, a kid in the Philippines in a grocery store, and I was with my mom. So yeah, we were just shopping together, going through the aisles, and I was right beside her when this happened, but all of a sudden, there was this grocery store worker that was, like the corner of the grocery store where like the seafood is. There was like a door in that corner, and then all of a sudden, this man points at me and he goes, "Papatayin kita." And if you don't know what that means, it means I'm gonna kill you. Girl, I was traumatized. I was like, what the heck? Like, I literally clung onto my mom the entire rest of the grocery store trip. And I could not stop thinking about that image and his voice, it was just stuck in my head for days. And I was so scared to ever go back to that grocery store again. And even like throughout the rest of the mall trip, I would be so scared he would come around the corner and do something to me. And yeah, it just stuck in my head for a lot. But I did get over it. It's not that deep, but it really scared me growing up. And I guess that was like low-key my first traumatic experience. And I never told my mom either, or anyone. I actually told her this last night. And then she was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" But I guess I was just too scared. I don't know. For the rational explanation for this, I think there might have been a worker of his, like a coworker friend of his, that was standing behind me or in my general direction, and he just happened to point in that general direction and then say that. But again, why would you say it so loud, and why would you say it when there's like a little girl literally in your direction? Like, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's my rational thinking for that experience. Okay, this is another experience that isn't really paranormal, but it's just really unexplainable. So when I was little, my mom got me this like fabric sewing machine, like design kit, where you can select different shapes of fabric. Like there were hearts, butterflies, all this stuff, and you could put them on your clothes and iron them on and all that stuff. So I put two butterflies on these pair of jeans. Okay. And these butterflies were super distinct. They were signature butterflies. Like, I was obsessed with them. I knew exactly how they looked, like they were pink. And I put two on my jeans, on like the right side pocket area of my jeans. We ironed them on. They were implanted on. Okay. And these butterflies were stuck on for like months. Okay. And yeah, they were on. I was obsessed with them. And then all of a sudden, I noticed that one of the butterflies were gone one day. And I was like kind of sad because obviously these were really cute. They were a signature look. So I noticed that one butterfly was gone. But to be honest, I kind of got over that kind of quickly and didn't really think much about it. I just knew a butterfly was gone. We lost one, guys. We lost one. So then, fast forward a few years, we moved to Canada. And I brought those jeans with me to Canada. I remember I was shopping in Metrotown or just some sort of mall. And all of a sudden, guys, I look on the floor and there was a butterfly on the floor. And this butterfly looked exactly like the butterfly that was on my jeans. And in my head, I was like, how can this be possible? Like, the only way this could work is if someone in Canada somehow bought the exact same fabric design kit that you would like. Yeah, like someone must have bought the exact same thing and used the exact same butterfly and lost it and ended up on the floor. And it's just weird because this toy, I would only assume it was found in the Philippines. So it's kind of weird, like, why is this butterfly here? Yeah, I actually didn't really do anything after that. I didn't pick it up or anything. I just left it there, but it was just kind of weird and I couldn't stop thinking about it. For the rational explanation for this, I think, first of all, my memory, super blurry. It could have been a different butterfly. It probably wasn't even connected to the toy at all. Like, it just was a random butterfly thing that was on the floor. Another thing is that maybe, perhaps, it wasn't even in Canada when I found this butterfly, and it wasn't even years after I lost the original butterfly. Like, I could have been in the Philippines a month later and saw it. I really don't. I kind of like lost track of the timeline, but I swear I was in Canada when I found it. So, yeah, could be something. And again, it's a butterfly. Like, there are many different butterfly thingies you can find, but it's just kind of weird. So, yeah, again, not super paranormal, but just something really unexplainable. Okay, so I'm going to share one more story, and this is probably the scariest one. Um, so it happened a couple years ago. We went to Victoria for my dad's birthday, and I think I was like 14 or 15. I think I was 14 years old. So, anyways, we went to Victoria for my dad's birthday, and I think it was for 2 nights, either Victoria or like some other place. I don't really remember, but I remember just being in a hotel. And when this happened, we were actually about to leave. We were about to check out of the hotel. As we were about to leave, I can remember seeing this white shadow thing at the bathroom door, and it kind of poked its head out. And okay, I don't know why I did this, but the next thing I remember was I was trying to open the bathroom door and it was locked. it was literally locked. And it's just kind of weird because we were about to leave and everyone was done using the bathroom. Like, no one had to use it anymore. But it was just kind of a weird coincidence that I see this white thing and then moments later, the bathroom door's locked and it won't open. And thank God we were already leaving because I don't know if I would be able to handle that if I had to stay one more day or one more night. But yeah, it was just kind of weird. And I think I briefly told my dad and then we just kind of brushed it off together. But it was definitely something I was thinking of probably the whole way home. But yeah, really, really weird. Again, rationally, maybe for some reason I just hallucinated that, or maybe the bathroom door was locked because someone closed it and locked. I don't know how it would have locked from the outside though. Oh my god, thinking about it now, I actually don't even remember seeing the door close. I just like lost all memories after seeing that white thing. Yeah, maybe someone did close it, I don't know. But yeah, take that as you will. All right, so those are all of the spooky, scary stories that I'm going to be sharing today from my life. They weren't much, I know, but I just thought they would be fun to share anyways. And yeah, that was the first time I've ever spoken up like this ever about this kind of stuff. So again, I claim no negative energy from this, and I'm coming at this with so much love and light and pure intentions and respect. And we will close this off now. We will close these chapters of my life now, and we will now move on to some more fun stuff. We're going to start off with some Halloween hot takes. First hot take question: adults who still trick or treat, valid or cringe? Honestly, guys, I think it's kind of valid. Like, it's a holiday and it's meant to be fun. And I think one of the biggest reasons why we are so sad as adults is because we just don't do things we used to do as kids. And I feel like we should normalize this again, like, especially as Gen Zs. Like, guys, come on, we are the most unserious generation. Like, let's at least bring back trick or treating for us. I remember thinking that trick or treating at any age was normal until when I was around 14 or 15, when my friends started talking about how not normal it was. And also, another friend of mine asked me something about trick or treating and, like, oh, did you go trick or treating last year? And I was like 14, 15. I was like, yeah, I went trick or treating. And they were like being kind of judgy about it. And I was like, why is this not normalized? Like, why are we making fun of people who are just having fun? Like, as long as you're not harming anyone and as long as you're having fun, then I don't care. Like, do whatever you want to do. Use your free will and it's your life. So have fun and just don't hurt anyone. There we go. That's my hot take. I don't think trick or treating as an older person, as an adult, is weird. DIY costumes are better than store bought costumes. So my take on this, I actually prefer store-bought costumes. And I think it's because just growing up, I always bought my costumes and I just think it's really fun. Something about me is that I love stupid costumes. I will wear a stupid costume over like a sexy corset any day. Like, I love being unserious, and yeah, they're my favorite type of costumes. And those happen to be the costumes that you would buy at a store. So yeah, but also kind of works as DIY too, because a lot of stupid costumes you can make at home. But I think the funniest ones are just the ones that are pre-made you can buy at the store, like a blow-up suit, um, or like a horse mask. And I think just having, personally for me, I think just having a costume store-bought and ready just makes it feel more official. Whereas if I was to wear a DIY costume, it would feel like I'm just going out in my at-home clothes and it just doesn't feel the same. But again, it might just be because growing up I never made my own costumes. I always bought them, so maybe it's just ingrained in my head to like them more. But yeah, that is my hot take on that. But I will say, I 100% respect people that make their own costumes. I think it's so cool. I think people are so talented, and you do you. Like, I love that for you. But personally, for me, I'd rather buy my own costumes. But again, I don't really celebrate Halloween, so this doesn't even matter. But yeah. Thoughts on sexy costumes. So, this one's a bit of a spicy one and a bit of a controversial one, I feel, because I know there are many, many different opinions on this. I personally think that you can have fun, like, especially as you get older. I guess the way people express themselves are different. Like, obviously, not everyone's gonna want to wear the same things they wore as a kid and they want to express themselves more. I'm all for wearing whatever you want. Like, girls, you do you. If you feel hot, then that's hot. Then that's awesome. I love that for you. Personally, for me, I don't really wear sexy costumes. Again, I love stupid costumes. I'd much rather, like, last year, I wanted to dress up as a carrot. girl, a carrot. And because I had orange shorts, but it's so funny because I never dressed up in the end. But yeah, and then the other year, another year, I was literally wearing a horse mask. But girl, I'm all for a sexy Halloween costume on other people. Like, I think people look so good. I've already been seeing so many stories of my friends dressing up and going to their parties with their really sexy, hot Halloween costumes. I'm like, yes, girl, like you do you. And I'm so happy for you. Like, this is the only time of year where you can wear stuff like this, I guess. So, yeah, honestly, as long as you're having fun and as long as you're not harming anyone, then you do you. And I'm so happy for you. Okay, this next one is psychological horror over jump scare horror. So I think this is referring to like books and movies and stuff, or I guess more movies because jump scare movies, right? But this one's kind of tricky for me because I love how different they are, but also the same, if that makes sense. Psychological horror, I love because it's so much deeper and it really allows you to reflect on your emotions and channels your empathetic side, and it really gets you thinking, gets your cognition going, right? That's what I love about psychological horror. There's like a deeper, like, meaning behind the story, and you get to work the pieces together and really channel those emotions and cognitions and whatever. I don't know if you guys have read The Silent Patient. That is a psychological horror book, and I just love how, I don't know, I just love how in depth it was. And even though there wasn't like a specific, like a jump scare, you can still sense the horror tone and vibe of the book. And yeah, that's what I love. Just like that eerie air of psychological horror. But jump scares, girl, jump scares are what will keep me awake. And yeah, with that being said, I would prefer jump scares because I don't know, I just love the feeling of suspense. Zombies, vampires, witches, or ghosts. Which monster is the most iconic? So I would argue that witches are the most iconic. I don't know, they're just like the best symbol of Halloween for me. Ghosts as well, but I feel like ghosts can be like a year-round thing. I think witches, this is when their time to shine really happens. So yeah, I would say witches. I don't think I'm gonna elaborate much more on this, but yeah, I think witches are the signature Halloween character. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to some fun questions. So these are kind of more of my life experiences. What's your all-time favorite Halloween memory? So this was in grade 4, and in grade 4, our class used to tell the weather to each other every single morning. Someone would come up to the front of the class every day and tell what temperature it is, the precipitation thingy, and it's cloudy, and like all these different points. And on Halloween, I happened to be the chosen one to tell the weather. And I was wearing a witch hat headband, I was wearing a Hello Kitty long sleeve shirt, and like leggings or something, and twinkle toes boots. Yeah, I didn't really, it's not really a trick or treating thing or anything like that. It was at school and I was literally telling the weather. That was my favorite, probably because I felt like a baddie in my twinkle toes boots, but that was my favorite Halloween memory. What was the best costume I've ever worn? So in grade 9, I'm pretty sure it was grade 9, I wore a horse mask and I trick or treated with my friends. And I thought I looked so funny, and I definitely think I made lots of people giggle. Okay, so there we go. Horse mask was my favorite costume. Favorite costume you've seen someone else wear? Okay, this question I love. So I think it was last year or the year before. I was at the mall with my friends and it was already nighttime, so everything was kind of closing up. We went into Indigo, the bookstore, and we were just shopping around, looking around. I swear, I like turned for 1 second and then all of a sudden there's this frog blow up suit just there. And it's so funny because it was walking with a girl, kind of like how in Disneyland the mascots walk around with bodyguards. But this frog was just walking around, and it's so funny because it couldn't even look at the books anyways, and it had no idea where it was going. So it's like, why are you in here? And yeah, it was just really, really funny. And it caught me so off guard, and we just kept laughing and laughing. It was hilarious. But yeah, I just love, again, unserious, funny, stupid costumes. Like, that is the best. What is your comfort Halloween movie? So again, I don't watch movies that much. I have watched like a lot of the iconic scary horror movies. But for comfort, I would stick to my childhood shows. Okay, so there's one from Higglytown Heroes. This is really niche. I don't know if y'all heard of Higglytown Heroes before. It was a childhood show, but there was an episode where they featured Bigfoot. Girl, I loved that episode so much. I remember watching it in the Philippines with the AC on, and my brother and my grandma were beside me. We watched that episode together. And then also the Backyardigans. There was this haunted house episode, and it was like a really long movie style episode, so it was pretty cool. And yeah, Ghost Adventures. comfort TV show, I would say. So yeah, those are my comfort shows. What kind of candy trade were you as a kid? Candy trade? Candy trader? What kind of candy kid were you? Let's just say that. The negotiator, the hoarder, or the dealer? To be honest, I was just happy to be there. Like, I was none of these. I just took my candy and left. So that's that question. If you could redesign trick or treating for adults, how would it work? So the way I would redesign this is to just have us stop being so judgmental, right? Just be happy for each other that we're actually going out and doing something fun. I would also redesign it so that people are less creepy. There's just so many things that can go wrong on Halloween. Like someone might do something to your candy or someone might stalk you home. Girl, I just wish that we could be so much more safer and just have fun and be better as a society, guys. Like that's how I would reinvent Halloween. Or not Halloween, but trick-or-treating. I guess Halloween in general too. If you could spend Halloween anywhere in the world, where would you go? I would go back to from where it all started. So I did a little bit of research, guys, and Halloween originated in Ireland and the UK and parts of northern France. So yeah, I would spend my Halloween there from where it all started. It would be really, really cool. And just see how they spend Halloween there. Because yeah, I just think that's so cool. Okay, so I'm going to end off the episode with some would you rather questions. So, would you rather spend a night at a haunted house or walk through a cemetery at 3 a.m.? So, I would choose haunted house. I feel like there's just so much more to do. I feel like at a cemetery, you just gotta walk and you're outside. You're gonna be cold, girl. Like, I'd rather be inside in a warm house. And I don't know, it'd be kind of a vibe, to be honest. I do get it. There are so many things that can happen in a haunted house, but it's the adrenaline, guys. That's what I like. So, yeah, I'd rather be in a haunted house. Would you rather hand out candy or go trick or treating yourself? I'd rather hand out the candy. Just trick or treating, I've never really enjoyed it. I never really liked the idea of going out late at night in the cold, and there's just too many things that can happen, too many risks. Again, like I said in the other question, it should be so much safer and more fun to trick or treat. Otherwise, I would definitely be trick or treating more. But I just feel really unsafe doing it. And yeah, I'd rather hand out candy because, first of all, because I just love the act of giving candy and making someone's day for a split second is just the best feeling ever. I handed out candy last year and just knocking, like hearing people's knocking, that sounds kind of creepy. Like people knocking and opening the door and hearing trick or treat is so cute. Like seeing all the kids and you get to see all these different costumes and you can see their parents behind them being supportive. Like you get to be a part of this kid's childhood and their life and celebrating this holiday with them. And also the act of giving is just really amazing. Like I love it that you get to make a kid's day every like 5 to 10 minutes. It's awesome. And also I love complimenting people's costumes and seeing all these people's creative costume ideas and all that stuff. So okay, and the last question is would you rather accidentally show up to a party in costume when no one else is dressed up or not dress up when everyone else did? So I would rather do the first one. So accidentally show up to a party in a costume when no one else is dressed up. Even though I'd look stupid, at least I'd stand out. Like, at least I'd pop a bit, And I guess it could be a great conversation starter, no matter how embarrassing it is. I think being in that uncomfortable position will, give some plot for the day, okay? Give some plot for the night. So, yeah, I'd rather do that. And then also, the second part of the question, it was not dress up when everyone else did. This has happened to me so many times, not even with like Halloween stuff, but also just in life in general. Like sometimes there'll be a spirit week at school or just an event where everyone's so dressed up and I'm the odd one out. That sucks. Like I feel so bad. I feel like I just want to go home and dress up and be fun like these people. So yeah, I'd rather be in the first situation more. And yeah, that about wraps up the Halloween episode. I thank you guys so much for listening to me up today. And again, if you are celebrating tonight, if you're trick or treating, if you're partying, I hope that you have the best time ever. You look amazing in your costumes and just stay safe, be safe, look out for each other, and stay warm as well. I will now sign off for the day. This month has been honestly amazing, and I cannot believe we're already done October and now we're going into November. So, yeah, thank you guys for an amazing month. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you in November. Bye!